The planet Virulin had always been a quiet world. Its people were gentle, peaceful, and trusting. They spent their days studying art, growing crystal gardens, and singing ancient songs that echoed across their bright floating cities. War was something they read about in old books, not something they expected to see with their own eyes. But now, everything was changing. For the last 3 days, the sky above Virulin had been filled with smoke and fire. Unknown enemy ships had arrived without warning. They destroyed Virulin's outer defenses in minutes. Their lasers cut through buildings and towers like they were made of paper. Families had rushed into the underground shelters. The streets were empty. The colorful lights of the city had gone dark, replaced with flashing red alarms. Inside the council hall, 12 leaders gathered around a long, glowing table. Every face showed fear. Every voice trembled. They were not soldiers. They were scholars, teachers, healers. Whether they liked it or not, they were now the last defense of their world. Elder Serin, the oldest among them, looked up with tired eyes. "We cannot survive this alone," he said softly. "If we do not send a message now, our world will fall before the next sunrise." No one argued. They all knew he was right. A young council member named Rayleigh stepped forward. His hands shook as he activated the emergency signal beacon. The device hummed loudly, filling the room with white light. The signal would reach every nearby civilization. The council hoped anyone would hear their cry. "Message ready," Rayleigh whispered. Elder Soren closed his eyes. "Send it." The beacon released a pulse of energy that shot into the sky, breaking through the clouds and traveling far beyond their star system. When the message left their world, the room went silent. Every council member felt the weight of what they had just done. They were begging for help, not as leaders, not as warriors, but as frightened living beings who wanted to survive. One council member, Mara, looked out the long window at the burning horizon. "Which allies will come to help us?" she asked quietly. No one answered. Their nearest friends were peaceful civilizations like themselves. They had small fleets, weak shields, and almost no weapons. They might come, but they would not be strong enough to fight this enemy. Then Rayleigh spoke again, this time with a trembling voice. "The message. It traveled farther than we expected." Elder Soren frowned. "How far?" Rayleigh swallowed. "To the outer rim. Beyond the old routes. Beyond the safe territories." Deep silence filled the hall. Everyone knew what lived beyond the safe territories. Or rather, what used to live there. Humanity, a species wrapped in rumors. Some said humans were fearless explorers. Others said they were monsters of war. Some believed they had disappeared long ago. Others whispered that humans only appeared when there was blood in the air and fire in the sky. Mara shook her head quickly. "Humans will not answer. They do not return signals. They do not talk to outsiders." But Elder Serin was not sure. His eyes drifted back to the burning sky. "Perhaps they will," he whispered. At that exact moment, the ground trembled. The lights in the council hall flickered. A low rumble echoed through the air. It came from above, from beyond the clouds. The alien leaders looked at each other in confusion and fear. "What is that sound?" Myra asked. Rayleigh checked the scanners. His eyes widened. His skin turned pale. "Something is entering our orbit." "Is it the enemy?" Soren asked sharply. Rayleigh shook his head fast. No, this is something else. Something bigger." The rumble grew louder. Cracks appeared on the glass windows from the vibration. Even the ground beneath their feet seemed to shake with every passing second. Outside, the clouds began to twist and swirl. The entire sky changed color, going from orange to a deep black. Then bright white lines ripped through the darkness jump signatures. Not one, not 10. Not even 100 thousands. One by one, massive shapes emerged from the void. Warships, dark metal, heavy armor, engines burning like small suns. The ships were so large that they blocked out the entire horizon. The council members froze in terror. Who are they? Mayra whispered. Rayleigh checked the scanner again. His voice cracked. Human. Ship's Elder Serin could not breathe for a moment. Humanity had heard their call, but instead of sending diplomats, they had sent something else. Something far more frightening. A full war armada. The first human ship descended lower, its shadow covering half the city. Its glowing blue engines lit up the ruins on the ground. Even from inside the council hall, they could feel the pressure of its presence, like standing in front of a giant predator. Why would humans come here? Mayra asked, her voice shaking. Are they here to save us? Or to finish us? No one knew. The Armada remained silent. No message. No warning. No explanation. Just thousands of human ships forming a steel wall in the sky. The enemy ships that had attacked Virulin suddenly retreated behind the clouds. Unable to believe what they were seeing, Elder Serin took a deep breath. Hope or destruction, he whispered. Humanity has answered. Now we will learn which one they bring. The sky rumbled again. Human weapons began to glow. The aliens stared upward, helpless. Whatever happened next, their world would never be the same. Asterisk, the sky above Virulin was no longer a sky. It had become a ceiling of metal, engines, and silent power. Thousands of human warships held their positions with perfect discipline, like a wall built to stop the universe itself. Their dark holes reflected the burning glow of the destroyed city below. Their heavy cannons pointed outward, waiting for a target. Inside the council hall, no one spoke. Every leader stared at the screens, watching the human ships move with slow, terrifying purpose. Even the youngest among them could feel it. This was not a rescue fleet. This was a force created by a species that understood war better than anyone else. Finally, Elder Serin broke the silence. Have they sent a message yet? Ralph checked again. No, nothing. They are completely silent. Mayra hugged her arms tightly. Why would they come here and say nothing? Why would they send all of this? No one knew. Even the oldest stories did not describe humans arriving with such strength. Suddenly a soft beep echoed through the hall. Ralph jumped. A signal, he shouted. Every council member leaned in as the main display flickered. For a moment, there was only static. Then a single symbol flashed onto the screen. An old, forgotten emblem, a human flag. The screen cleared, and a voice filled the room. Calm, deep, steady. This is Commander Hale of the Terran War Armada. Virulin, stand behind us. That was all. No introduction. No request. No explanation. Just 3 words that left the council speechless. Mayra whispered, stand. Behind them? Behind humans? Elder Serin closed his eyes, trying to understand. It means they will take the front line, but why? Ralph asked. They do not know us. They owe us nothing. Before anyone could answer, alarms suddenly flashed across the screens. Enemy ships were dropping out of warp. Dozens at first, then hundreds, then more. A massive enemy fleet appeared on the edge of the system. The council gasped in horror. This enemy force was larger than anything they had seen before. Their red-black ships filled the entire sensor grid. Their weapons glowed with fierce, deadly heat. They were ready to wipe out Virulin completely. Rayleigh panicked. Should we send another message? Should we ask the humans to retreat? But Elder Serin shook his head. Look, on the screens, the human armada shifted formation instantly. Not one ship hesitated. Not one ship moved alone. They turned together like one giant machine. Their engines burned with white fire. Their weapons charged in perfect rhythm. A cold wave ran through the council hall. The humans were not preparing to defend the planet. They were preparing to attack. Commander Hale's voice returned. To all Virulin forces, do not engage. Do not interfere. Observe only. The council felt a chill. The humans were telling them to stay silent while they handled everything. The message did not sound arrogant. It sounded like a warning. Mayra whispered, they do not want us to get in the way. Elder Serin nodded slowly. Humans have fought many wars, perhaps too many. The first enemy volley fired thousands of red plasma bolts streaking across space. The attack was strong enough to destroy a moon. But the humans were faster. A bright shield wall formed instantly across the front line. The plasma hit exploded and vanished like raindrops on stone. Then the Terran Armada responded. Every human ship opened fire at the same moment. The sky exploded into white and blue light, silent at first, then shaking the ground below. The blast was so powerful that even the citizens hiding underground felt the vibration. Rylith stared at the screens with disbelief. This is not normal war. This is something else. Human ships moved through the battlefield with deadly skill. They cut enemy formations apart with precise cold efficiency. Every laser beam was perfect. Every missile hit exactly where it needed to. Nothing humans did was random. Everything had purpose. The Council watched as one human battleship rammed directly into the heart of an enemy cluster. Its armor barely dented. Its cannons continued firing even as it tore through metal and fire. Mara covered her mouth. How can they be so fearless? Saren answered quietly, because they have seen worse. Another wave of enemy ships charged forward, trying to break the human lines. But the Terran Armada tightened formation. Their ships closed together, forming a protective arc around Virulin. The humans were not just fighting, they were shielding the planet with their own bodies of steel, Commander. Hale sent a second message. Enemy forces will be eliminated. Remain calm. The Council almost laughed. Calm. How could anyone stay calm while watching two armadas clash above their world? But the humans meant it. They were not worried. They were not struggling. They fought like a species that had mastered the art of survival and destruction. The enemy tried to retreat. The humans did not let. Them human destroyers broke from the main formation and hunted the escapees with terrifying speed. One by one, enemy ships vanished in bursts of blue fire. No mercy. No hesitation, Mara whispered. They are wiping them out. Rylith nodded, unable to look away. This is why the galaxy fears humans. Elder Serene watched the final enemy cruiser explode in silence. No, he said softly. The galaxy does not fear humans because they are strong. The galaxy fears them because they always win. When the last enemy ship was gone, the sky became quiet again. The human armada held position, glowing faintly against the night. Commander Hale sent one last message. Virulin, your enemy has been removed. Further assistance is available if needed. No pride. No celebration. Just simple, direct words. The Council stood frozen. They had just witnessed a power they could not understand. A species they feared had saved them. But why? That question hung heavy in the air as the human armada waited silently above the world. The battlefield above Virulin slowly returned to silence. The explosions faded. The bright flashes of war cooled into soft blue lights. The enemy ships were gonna every single one of them. Nothing remained except drifting metal and quiet dust. The Terran War Armada held formation above the planet like silent guardians. Inside the council hall, no one spoke for a long time. The air felt heavy, almost sacred. The Virulin leaders had seen something that would change them forever. They had expected allies. They had expected small help, maybe a medical team or a weak peacekeeping fleet. Instead, they had witnessed the full force of humanity, the oldest, strongest, and most unpredictable species in the galaxy. Rylith was the first to finally find his voice. They destroyed the entire enemy fleet, as if it was nothing. Mara still stared at the screen, unable to blink. No fear, no confusion. Not a single mistake. They fought like they have done this 1,000 times before. They have, Elder Seren whispered. A soft sound broke the silence. A new message alert. The council froze again. It is the humans, Rylith said with a shaking voice. The screen flickered, and Commander Hale appeared. His face was calm, unreadable. Behind him, the bridge of the Terran flagship glowed with cold blue lights. Human officers moved with focus and discipline, as if the battle that destroyed an entire fleet had meant nothing. Commander Hale spoke slowly. With steady control, Virulin, the threat to your world has been removed, but the danger may return. The enemy you faced is part of a larger force. Elder Soren stepped forward. Why did you help us? He asked carefully. We did not expect humanity to answer our call. The human commander did not hesitate. Because you asked. The council looked at one another, confused. That could not be the only reason, could it? Saren continued, but many believe humans do not get involved in other conflicts. Many think humans avoid the galaxy. Commander Hale's expression did not change, but his voice grew heavier. We avoid games. We avoid politics. We avoid councils who talk while their people die. But when someone in true danger calls for help, humans listen, Mara whispered. Is that why you sent? An entire armada? Hale glanced at the huge ships displayed behind him. We do not send half measures. When humanity moves, we move to win. His words carried the weight of history wars long forgotten. Battles that had shaped the galaxy and scars humans rarely spoke about. Rayleigh took a step closer to the screen. What happens now? The human commander paused for a moment, as if choosing his words carefully. Now, Virulin rebuilds. We will watch your system for the next cycle. If the enemy returns, we will return. Mara felt her breath catch. Why us? We are not important. We are not powerful. Commander Hale leaned slightly forward. Because you are peaceful. Because you have never attacked another world. Because you did not deserve what happened here. The council members felt something they had not felt in days' relief. The humans were not here to conquer. They were not here to take control. They were simply... Here the screen faded as the message ended. For a moment, the council hall was silent again. Then voices rose softly, fear melting slowly into hope. Outside, across the city ruins, the people of Virulin stepped out of hiding. Families emerged from shelters. Children looked up, pointing at the giant human ships glowing in the sky. Some were afraid. Some were amazed. Most were simply grateful to be alive. But the story did not end there. News of what happened on Virulin spread across the galaxy within hours. Every major empire received the same report. A full Terran war armada had mobilized. Humanity, once thought silent or distant, shown its power again. In the capital of the Arcan Dominion, leaders panicked. They remembered old wars with humans, wars they had barely survived. In the iron halls of the Crozer Legion, commanders ordered immediate scans of Terran space. Terrified that humanity had awakened again, in the cold chambers of the Draxus Empire, a queen slammed her fist on the table. If the humans have returned, she said, then the galaxy will shake. Even peaceful civilizations watched in awe. The Calorian archives updated their star history. Humanity has moved. The galaxy must prepare. Back on Virulin, Elder Soren looked up once more at the shining human armada. He knew this event would be remembered for generations. Not just because humans saved them, but because of what it meant for everyone else. He whispered to the council, this was not just a rescue. This was a message. Mara nodded slowly. To us? No, Serene said, shaking his head. To the entire galaxy. He pointed at the sky, where the Terran ships stood like mountains of steel. Humanity has not vanished. Humanity has not grown weak. Humanity has not hidden. His voice grew stronger. They simply waited for a reason to show themselves again. As he spoke, the Terran armada started to move. Their engines glowed bright white. One by one, the ships aligned. Then, in a flash of light, the entire fleet vanished, jumping into the deep dark. No goodbye. No ceremony. Just silence. The people of Virulin watched them disappear. Knowing they would never forget what they saw, a planet in danger had cried out. And humanity answered with fire.